don't understand some things. Okay, let's go through. So this is what we'll go through: an introduction, Cambridge overview. Okay, the B2 First Certificate and C1 Advanced. Talking specifically about those. So there's two tests that we are running here. Okay, so the B2 First Certificate is upper intermediate. Okay, and the Advanced is an advanced course. But we'll get more information about that. Then we'll look at the material that we're using and how we conduct the course. And then the English focus example, and I'll do some examples from a test. So, and then talk about how we learn the specific grammar and things like that, okay? And questions we can do as we go. Okay, so a bit of reading here. Okay, why Cambridge examinations? Okay, Cambridge English qualifications are a mark of excellence. So Cambridge is a very old university, and of course it's accepted and trusted by thousands of organisations around the world, and accepted by other universities as well. It's most probably why you're needing to have a higher certificate in English. It's internationally recognised, which we just mentioned. It's aligned to the Common European Framework. Have you heard of that before? Okay, so that's the CEFR, and you'll see that on the back of books. It might have this particular code. You'll see that on books. This one here, yeah, there. That's the CEFR, and it's the International Standard of English. Okay, so the majority of English courses around the world relate back to that standard. Okay, and that's why we get these, the B2. B1, B2, C1, C2, etc. Okay, there's been a change in the name. It used to be called FCE, that's this one, but now it's called First. Okay, so it used to be the First Cambridge examination, and then the CAE, Cambridge Advanced Examination. Now it's just called C2. Okay, so you'll see both terminologies around. Okay. The other reason for choosing is it helps you set goals and increases your motivation. It's an exam course, so it's not general English, your normal general English course. This is preparing you for maybe university or other things. It's a higher level course, and of course is a lot busier. You need definitely to be committed and dedicated to the course. Okay. The other one is standing out from the crowd. If you've got a Cambridge qualification in English, it's high. People know that. You know, it depends on what type of job you want to go for, and that's one of the reasons why people do it. It also looks really good on your CV or resume. Yeah. Any questions from that?
No.
Let's see it. Okay, so this is comparing with IELTS. Yeah, IELTS over here. These are all the other different exams. IELTS and Cambridge here. All right, B2, of course, is your upper intermediate. C1 is advanced. So depending on your level, you need to choose very wisely about which one. We can make that easier because we're going to give you a little test today, and that'll pinpoint which exam would be better for you. Right? But I'm thinking, listening to you and for yourself, First Certificate is the best one because it still allows you to get an advanced score if you do very well. Okay. The risk, if you choose to do the advanced, you might actually fail. So you don't actually get the C1 level, but you fail. You don't want to fail. Okay, so it's actually better to stay in this area and get the highest score as possible. Yeah. And what level do you need for your? You've got a pathway.
Yeah.
And where are you going?
Maybe Murdoch.
Murdoch.
Yeah.
Right. And what's the entry requirement level?
But Cambridge, I'm not sure, teacher. I
No,
just
just
know
give me the IELTS level. 'cause you can
IELTS
see it.
6 in all the bands.
A lot of the universities allow anything from 6
Yeah.
to enter,
Yeah.
but you need to get a higher
of
by the
course,
time you finish.
Yeah.
So there, of course, a first certificate could do this, okay, and allow you even a higher score if you do very well, okay.
Yeah.
So
The point is more than for an exam. I I need to improve my English
yeah,
to do my life here.
yes, yeah. So the other thing is the Cambridge exam is a very structured exam, a little bit different. It is focusing on general English, but of course preparing you at a very high level, but it's not academic, okay, in the sense that you're not going to be analysing graphs and, you know, talking about those sorts of things, okay. So we'll go on to the next one, and of course this is, we were just looking at this, Cambridge test scores never expire, okay. They might expire for you because your English has got better, so you don't need it anymore. You might choose to take it off your resume because you are higher. Cambridge is a pass-fail test. Some people don't like that. They want to do the IELTS, just give me my score and you'll get a score. Cambridge speaking is with a partner, Cambridge listening 2 times, which is good. IELTS is just once. Cambridge reading and writing is less academic. Okay, you only do the academic if you need to, and everyone would suggest you do it through an IELTS exam. And Cambridge English is neutral. It's what we use every day in business, etc. Everywhere else, formal, informal. It's focusing on all of that. Okay, so why? So B2 first. A B2 first qualification proves you have the language skills to live and work independently in an English-speaking country or study on courses taught in English. Okay, so it shows that you can definitely function. It helps with employment, and of course, in an English-speaking country, and also go on to further studies, which is definitely what both of you are wanting. Yeah. It shows that you can communicate effectively face to face, expressing opinions, presenting arguments, being able to produce the level of English required, follow the news and understand it, write clear, detailed English, expressing opinions and explaining the advantages and disadvantages of different points of view. Okay, so to be able to do this with confidence, we focus on building that. You can write letters, reports, stories, lots of other types of text, and have it correct. Any questions? All good? And the reasons to choose it: it's accepted for entry to foundation, pathway, pre-sessional courses in English-speaking countries. So the pathway is what you're on now. So you need to achieve a certain level, and then you can continue on that path into Murdoch. You could go and do the course that you want to do. Okay, so it's important there with the pathway that if you know what you want to do, you know the level required to enter. Okay, so if you wanted to do a course, go to the university, find out what the entry requirements. You can usually get them online or speak to your agent about it. And it's accepted for entry to undergraduate programs taught in English in non-speaking countries, so non-English speaking countries as well, but of course we're in an English speaking country. Okay, so basically that's it. The B2 first is definitely where you need to be looking. The difference with the advanced, which I don't think we really need to look at, is that it's just more widely accepted in more things because it's at such a high level. By a lot of organisations would require that maybe you have an advanced level, depending on what type of organisation it is, and it's proof that you can do it. And of course, the majority of universities in the world, English universities would have this as accepting into courses. The C1 advanced qualification shows that you can follow an academic course at university, so it is higher. Communicate effectively at a managerial profession level, so working in the workplace. Participate with confidence in workplace meetings or academic tutorials, seminars, understand them clearly. This is one thing that's a bit difficult at unis, is the listening side of it, but participating in meetings, etc. Express yourself with a high level of fluency. Okay, so there's a lot that's focused on fluency, how you sound, how does your English sound, how do you produce it? And so we're not doing that, so let's move on. I'll move on from there. Okay, so looking at the course components, you can see here, this is the exam. We, in the Cambridge courses, prepare you for the exam. So we focus on things like time management, getting your reading and listening skills developed so that you can do it faster and get better at it. So faster, but of course, have your accuracy higher, okay? So you can see here, we've got the B2, how long the course is. There's only a little bit of difference in time, but there's a lot of difference in the type of material. In the advanced, it is a lot more advanced. Okay, you can compare the books later. Okay, so the reading, students learn to deal with a variety of reading skills, including understanding of specific information, text organisation, so how is the text organised, and the features, implication, tone, and text structure. Okay, so we analyse the types of reading and develop that. Use of English, students are required to demonstrate the ability to apply their grammar and vocabulary knowledge and control of the language system at text and sentence level. So the focus is grammar, vocabulary, and your pronunciation. So all of that together. And that's the use of English. So the reading includes, reading and use of English include those two elements. And that's in one exam that will last an hour and 20 minutes. You can see in these books at the back, you can see a whole practice exam, which is worth looking at. Okay. The writing is an hour and 20 minutes. Students learn how to write a variety of academic and everyday texts, essays, letters, reports, reviews, proposals, emails, informal and formal, etc. Okay, we'll be practicing all of those. The listening, students learn how to identify attitude, the attitude of the speaker, detail, opinion, purpose, agreement, and gist in a variety of recordings. Okay, so we listen for a lot of different things, and you're tested on that in the exam. It's not just detail. Okay. Speaking, students learn how to respond to questions in interview situations. So interview, how to speak at length on a topic, so expanded, extended speech, and how to participate and interact in discussions on various topics. So because it's with another person, you're actually assessed on how you speak, but also how you listen. You know, it's both sides of that. What was your response like to what you heard? How did you respond? Did you respond appropriately? The person who talks too much can be marked down, just as much as the person who talks too little can be marked down. So it's all about interaction, you know. So what do you think, Cindy? You know, do you agree with what I said? You can talk like that and involve the other person, even if they're not really participating, and your mark will go higher because that's normal communication. So we focus on all aspects of speaking. Any questions with this? All good? Okay, the course material, as you can see, we've got some examples here. Okay, so this is the advanced course. You can have a look at that. What we've got is the course book and the student resource book. This is basically the homework book, and this is what we have in class each day. This is colourful, sort of colourful, hold on. This is colourful, and whenever we are doing speaking and things, we'll actually have pictures, colour pictures, things like this. And this is not in colour. This is just the homework book. So there's a lot of work. Not only do you do this, but you do all of this at home.
Last week I bought here the books, but they give me this one, and I think
Right. Okay, so that needs to be swapped. Did you have a look through it and think,
Not
wow,
really.
this is difficult?
Not
Okay.
really.
Okay, it is. So you need to bring them back
Yeah.
and swap them. And so yours is the first. Okay, B2 first. So you can see there's a lot of material, but that's not all. We're not including the extra writing, the extra vocabulary and grammar sheets that I'll give you, okay, which is actually a lot. So the one thing you really need to know is, can I do the course? Can I put in the time? Time really is an issue with everything. Do you think you can do it?
Most than nights.
Well, no, listen, I think it's really important to reward yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it means a reward on a Wednesday night opposed to, the weekend, well, why not? If you're able to work on the weekend on this and study on the weekend, do it. Okay. But one of the good things is you live and breathe English. There's just a lot of English around you, and that's immersion strategy. If you are around English, you will absorb it and more of it will come out. Okay, so the material's really good. So we have we've got the teacher's book. Where is it? That's the e-text. Teacher's resource book. So in here we've got extra material, things that I focus on giving out during the week, not generally every day, because you do have to do this. Then there's also extra things, so you'll have extra readings, extra listenings, because you might find that reading is your weak area. So you need to do more of it to get better, like running. To become a faster runner, you need to do more running. Same with listening. We'll find those particular areas which are your weak points and we'll help develop them. And so I'll have a lot of resources available for you so that you can build those levels up, okay? So the other thing is the e-text. So I've got it on the board, I can bring it up, we can all see it together as well as you look on the book. I can explain information, grammar, look at the readings and the listenings, and we can analyse all together as a group on the screen. So the resources are very good. We've got access to everything that you have in both books. All the vocabulary that's in these that we need to look at is all available on the screen as well. So it makes teaching easier. And if it's easier for the teacher, hopefully I do a better job at giving you the information you need to understand. Yeah. So let's have a look. All right. So in the first exam is reading and use of English, right? So there's 7 parts to the reading and use of English. Parts 1, 5, 6 and 7 are reading, and parts 2, 3 and 4 are use of English. I don't know why they did it that way, that's the way they did it. All right, so we're just going to look at 2 parts which relate to use of English, which is vocabulary, grammar, etc. Part 3 is word formation. That's building words, building vocabulary, understanding word families. So vocabulary, in particular the use of affixation, internal changes and compounding in word formation. Okay, so looking at the use of suffixes, prefixes, any changes that might be in the word. You actually do this and you know this. All right, this is developing it. Okay, you'll see my example. So the format is a text containing 8 gaps. Each gap corresponds to one word. The stems of the missing words are given beside the text and must be changed to form the missing word. So let's jump to the first one. And this is it. So these are the stems, there's the gap, and here is the word. Now sometimes you would need to put on a prefix as well as a suffix. Sometimes the prefix might be negative. So you need to try and change this word play, but play must be in the word, or there might be a change in spelling or something like that. So this is stretching your word family with the word play. All right, so this is quite difficult. Have you looked at it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So this is quite difficult because we then need to look at the strategies, and we learn the strategies, right? So he wanted to bring a feeling of, and we think, what type of word is required here? A feeling of, is it a verb, a noun, an adjective? And it's actually a noun. It is a noun. But to get the noun can be quite difficult. Now the problem with this exercise is I've chosen this from this book, which is advanced, all right? So we would learn to actually stop, analyse what type of word do I need, and then put in the knowledge that I have of prefixes and suffixes to build the word. With this one, we go from play, all right, which is a verb, to adjective. What is the adjective for play? So this little boy is playing with everything, right? And this little girl isn't. So this little boy is very play. Put on a suffix, play what? This boy is
I'm
very,
not sure,
very.
I've never
say-
used before
Yeah,
that word.
I know. That's right. It's a bit difficult. Playful.
Play.
Yeah. Have you heard of playful before? The boy's very playful.
No.
Okay. So this goes into words like. I won't go into it. But we then take the adjective and make it into a noun. Playful, and we put on a suffix. Playfulness is correct. Yeah, and we've got other words like happiness, things like that. We know the suffix, but yeah, we might have to change something in the middle to make it the word we want. We look at the strategies for that. All right. Then there's other ones like this. So, sorry, he wanted to bring a feeling of playfulness into the workplace and help avoid stress. The next one, this is quite easy. The workers are barefoot and something dressed. What type of word? Nearly, yes. Informally.
Okay.
The workers are barefoot, so they're not formal, they are informal, so we put on the prefix.
I didn't know was
Yeah.
barefoot.
Informally dressed in shorts. Yeah. Now this one is putting a little bit of stress on other grammar to make sure you know it. The thing we need to be careful of is here is regard. Okay, we need to understand verb agreement because his and then this word, do you know what type of word it is? Verb, adjective, noun, adverb?
Employ?
No,
Or what?
it's a noun.
Yeah, employ. Or
Mm.
what? Or what? What are you talking
Employ,
about? Sorry.
employ is a verb.
Yeah.
So we must use this and change it. His,
Employment.
but this is, we have to be careful of this. So
Employee.
regard, this sentence is in the present simple because this is all the time. Verb agreement, his employ, he is the employer,
Employment.
no, employees. Yeah, his employees regard. So we can't have his employee singular because of regard. If we have his employee, we need to have an S here. So we need to make sure we understand our tenses and the rules. This noun needs to be plural, and you get it wrong if it's not. As I said, this is a little bit difficult here, but if I choose one, so my ring has diamonds on it. It's really, yes, valuable. Good. So a lot of these you actually have, and you are using some of the words. It's just putting some rules to the formation in the building, and we'll look at that. How do we change a verb to a noun? How do we change a noun to a verb? What are the suffixes? Yeah. What are the rules for a negative, like dis and in and ear and ill as the prefixes? So that's that one. The other one is, just going back, is keyword transformation. So we focus on grammar, vocabulary and collocation. Collocation is words that naturally go together. Okay, so it's learning and using them correctly. The format is 6 separate items, each with a leading sentence and a gapped second sentence to be completed in 3 to 6 words, one of which is given a keyword. So you've got one word you must use. You must rephrase the sentence so that it means the same as the other sentence, and you can only use 3 to 6 words. Okay? So again, this is a really good exercise because we have to learn how to say the same thing many different ways. Okay? 2 points. Completely. Yep. I didn't know it was Carl until he took off his hat. This is a little bit different. I didn't know it was Carl until he took off his hat. Only
when he took off his hat, I did not put on his car.
Yes, only when he took off his hat did I recognise Carl. Now, this is most probably something that you didn't learn, but there's actually an inversion here because it's an adverbial. We will go into that. Saying sentences like this in a writing are really important because you're using more complex grammar. Okay? Don't waste your time asking Brian to come with us. What do you think?
I think it's
Yes,
I
it
have
is.
to put negative.
You do have to put a negative.
It's not worth.
Yes, it's
Inviting,
not worth
asking
asking
Brian.
Brian to come with us. Yes. So it's putting the negative in the right place, so you're getting that, you're building it. Okay? And this one you should be able to do. Perhaps John heard the story from Pippa. Pippa might.
People might have hair.
No, look who it is though. That would be a classic mistake here. Perhaps John heard the story from Pippa. Pippa might have told
Talking the story.
John the story. Yeah. Okay, so one is the person doing the speaking, okay, one's doing the listening, okay, and they just swap that around, and then you've got your modal plus perfect infinitive. So we look at you developing your skills so that you can be confident with your grammar and collocations, phrases that go together, like by the time, things like that. Okay, that's just a little example of use of English. The reading, listening, speaking, writing,